What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Filsinger Games Character Spotlight with Mike, Brock, and Pete.
I'm Mike.
I'm Brock,
That makes me Pete.
and we're joined tonight by Todd and Jim. They've both been here before, but they're going to help us kick off Promoter Madness 2 with Tournament Master and Xiongmao.
Nice.
How you guys doing tonight?
I always wondered how do you pronounce that?
Xiongmao?
Is it Xiong or is it Xion?
I think it's she.
Brock's close enough.
Close enough? You tell us, Jim. This has to be corrected for the record.
Big Bad Panda. That's what I'm going with.
When you go
Xiong,
with the foreign languages with this stuff,
Xiongmao.
that's better.
Xiongmao. Good enough.
That's a mouthful. Big
It
Bad
is.
Panda.
Later becomes pandemonium. That's a little
Yes.
easier to say.
Yeah.
TK came up with the names.
I like it.
Oh, since we're discussing them, we'll start off. So, Jim, you won a slot, and you created this fella right here. How did you come up with him and the background?
Well, the original plan was for a tag team partner for Cuddly Claw. So he came in as a good guy, which of course didn't fit the character.
He is 6'11", 400 pounds, folks. So he is a large fellow.
And I was looking for a different animal that never has been used before. So went to the panda or giant panda.
There you go.
And you made him completely violent.
Heck, his partner falls asleep. So
And my favorite move that he has is the Japan to splash.
It's an add one move. What is the Japan to splash?
pretty much just the one splash. When you got a big guy like that, kind of hurt.
Yeah.
I did not know that pandas were from Japan, but
The move is Japanese.
It's cultural. Yeah, multicultural.
Japan, China, whatever.
You're going to get us in trouble, Jim.
He's actually from Andromeda. So
He's Andromedan.
yes.
Yeah.
so when you created this character, Jim, how much of input did you have on it?
I had a lot of it. Most of the stats and stuff was all me. Rob did just change a few things here and there. It depends on what needed to be changed to make it legal. Hard work, I let Werner do it because he does stuff great from the top of his head.
Yeah, when Werner was doing all these, he was also creating, the regular GWF stuff. So I know I had a bit of input on when I did the artwork. Did you have him just like make a big, like coming at you like a bear, or
Yeah,
and that's all the direction you gave him?
yeah, pretty much.
I'd say he nailed it.
Uh,
I was hoping for some. I was hoping for some blood, but black and white you can't see much.
He does have a
Yeah.
mechanic when he's disqualified. Uh, roll two dice, refer to the Xiongmao Wild Panda chart in Promoter Madness 2 handbook to see what happens.
Yep.
Would you like to hear it?
Yes, please, Pete.
Unless you want to read it, Mike.
No, you go ahead. You got it open as well.
The wild panda chart. If the big bad panda is disqualified for using pandemonium, it doesn't say that. It actually says the name, but I'm not even going to try to butcher it.
Xiongmao.
Easy for you to
Uh,
say.
Roll 2 dice to see his reaction to the referee's decision. 2 to 5, Xiongmao calms down and nobody gets hurt. 6 to 9, Xiongmao goes crazy at ringside, but the opponent escapes without further damage. 10 to 11, Xiongmao continues his attack and injures the opponent. Roll 1 die for injury. And 12, Xiongmao snaps and attacks the opponent, the ref, and his ally if the match is a tag match, injuring everyone. Roll 1 die for injuries and 2 dies for suspension.
Whoa.
So, yeah.
That was all Rob, I think.
Oh, okay. I was just going to ask if that was you or was that Rob input?
I think it was all Rob.
Very cool.
Poor Cuddly Claw.
He's
And
got
then
backup.
find out he was trained by Iron Man.
Iron Man, yeah. Did you come up with the story, Jim? Was that your background?
Pretty much. For the most part, anyway.
Hibernation domination.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's an interesting character. He is solid on offense, and his defense is, he's got eight names
Hmm.
comebacks. If he didn't have the 2 C's, he'd probably be one of the more dominant characters in the game. But since his C's are on ropes and death jump, which are the 2 you don't want C's on,
Right?
You don't want him going up top rope.
No. You got to level him out somehow. He's going to get DQ'd a lot too.
oh yeah,
That was the whole point.
Yeah. He's an out of control monster.
and with a +4 agility, that negates his level 1 offense.
Most of the time.
We're putting you down unless he's taking on who else has a +5 or a +4?
Cycle
Well,
Hog, maybe?
Cycle Hog, yeah. There you go.
So there is
He's
a chance.
faster than Cycle Hog.
Yeah.
It gives me a chance.
Yep.
Buffet deathmatch. There you go.
Yeah, buffet death match.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, motorcycle. He when we get to him later.
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
got a +5 agility, so
See?
yeah.
Take that, Mike.
I like him too. So
No, I currently use him, and I do team him up with Iron Man
Hmm.
as like a teacher, student tag team. So
not a bad idea.
I do use him like that. He's currently in my GWF. He's about to be dropped down because he has a tough time getting wins in that top 40.
Well, can't keep because keeps getting disqualified.
Yeah. But yeah, he's got 2 downs and a pin. It's a solid card, really.
Hmm. He's tough to beat.
Yeah. But with
So
that,
Jim,
oh,
go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
no, I was going to say, but with that double finisher, but it's a +3 finish, but it's also a DQ, which, well, like Brock said, he's got some pluses, but he's got some minuses as well.
He's balanced.
Yep.
I was
He
going
was
to ask Jim.
He was
So-
he was made the same way he was supposed to be.
Hmm.
A wild beast.
What's the most famous thing that Zhang Mao did for you, Jim, in your Fed?
Not
Any
much.
claim to
Just one
fame?
just one hardcore title.
One hardcore title. Yeah, imagine that.
Makes sense.
He's built for that.
Never could win the big one.
Yeah.
He is the big one. So there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right?
Yep.
Not much bigger.
Let's slide on down to Todd, the Tournament Master.
Hmm.
So Todd, how did you come up with this fella?
I wonder.
Gee, I wonder how. Well, here, let me step back. I'm going to give a little bit of a Tournament Master history today. I'm going to go
All
beyond just
right.
this one card if you guys are okay with that.
Yep.
So I'll start. Originally the original Tournament Master card I have here.
I have
This
that.
is a bootleg card that Justin Sanudo helped me make. And you can see on the back of the card there. I don't know if you can read it at all. There's a lot of print on there, but basically this is a card that was part of a bootleg set that I made in for Galacticon in 2001. I was selling it to help finance the Galacticon Cup. That was the first year we did the Galacticon Cup, and I wanted to have a set out there, and that was to finance that. And I thought, hey, I need to have a tournament master card. So this one just helped you decide what type of tournaments to have. So there was like your standard single elimination one, a battle zone one, a battle royal, a round robin tournament, triple threat tournament. There's all these different ones, and all the things that were on here. I gave you brackets that I printed out that went along with it that you could run any one of those tournaments on there. So I still have a couple copies in my archives there. I'm sure it's on some thumb drive that is long, corrupted at this point. But yeah, that was kind of like the start of it. And so when it came down to Promoter Madness, there, Rob was like, "Are you going to come up with a character?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I'm not very good at creating characters. That is not my strong suit. I was good at adapting different characters, things like that, but not creating it." Was like, "Well, you should have a tournament master one." I'm like, "Oh, okay. You know what? You're probably right, but what does that mean?" And so the whole thing with the card there for this one was that it was somebody who really wanted to win tournaments, win belts, and the mechanics in there were ones that gave him advantages when he was going for titles. Like he was that much more invested into the match. Um, so yeah, that was the basic concept of it. I kind of worked out with some of that with Rob, and then I kind of went from there on a couple things. So with some of the moves, if you see his level 1 offense, I have a bunch of like agility and power, like more than usual on there. And I think that's kind of like I felt like I kind of wanted like a feeling out point. Like you can see his agility and power is both -2, which is kind of like both like above average but not fantastic. And this was actually on purpose. If you compare him to Endgame, I forget where we kind of came up with that he was going to be the same race as Endgame. That was something Rob and I tossed around. I don't know if he came up with it first or just in talking with it. We're like, oh, that'd be cool if he was from there. Where Endgame was kind of like righteous and whatnot, and at least at that point, a very good guy. Tournament Master at the time was supposed to be kind of like the antithesis. So he was, not as good as Endgame, but he was one that was like so much more selfish, whereas Endgame was much more selfless at the time, and that was kind of like the yin and yang. There was the idea. So yeah, that's why his some of his stats are you can see just a tad below Endgame across the board. But a couple things I want to include there. I did a lot of just like very, very careful, like, because I don't design a lot of cards. I want to make sure like moves that should be on level 1 or on level 1. Things that, when you're kind of hurt are level 2, and things when you're down on the ground is level 3. I really wanted to, pay attention to that. So a couple of the things that I had in there that I enjoyed, the bracket buster is basically Brett the Hitman Hart's when he spread the legs and stomp on the guy's crotch. That I always a big Bret Hart. I loved his move set there, and that was one that I always enjoyed, and I kind of wanted in there. I thought it was very fitting for this guy. And then the final round was a finishing move I kind of made up at the time, which is basically Cody Rhodes' finisher now, the Crossroads. It's the same exact finisher. I'm like, he kind of has it like a reverse DDT and kind of spins him into that, like that he turns him around was kind of the thought. And that's kind of what went into the whole move set there for him.
Very
Okay.
cool.
And your artwork, did you have a lot of input on it, or was it just, hey, this is kind of what I want, and
I
Werner
don't
run with it?
remember. I mean, I know we said we wanted to be like an Endgame's race. I think we found some reference there between Rob and I. I think Rob is usually better at finding a lot of references. I think he found something like, oh no, that looks good. I definitely wanted him to have some type of that bracket thing on his cape. I wanted him to have the cape and have that thing. That was something I definitely wanted to have in there. That was definitely one piece of input I had. I wanted him to have a couple titles, a couple medals, things like that. Rob kind of went, gave a little bit more direction, from there.
Gotta love
But
his hands. He's got rings on both.
oh yeah, he's got rings on both. There were different things. He's got multiple medals. He's got multiple titles. He's got the cup in the background. Like everything's there. Yeah. So yeah, I think, and within there, I think when we kind of developed the story, I think we put him in against a legacy who is again someone who is very righteous and whatnot versus the kind of conniving guy there with Tournament Master. And anything else on this card that you guys have questions on? Because I kind of want to talk a little bit about like where he kind of went from there, which was kind of unexpected at the time, but really kind of fit.
Yeah, like
Did this guy do anything spectacular for you, Todd?
I think he did. I had him in the GWFZ that I ran. I believe he did win the GWFZ title at one point, but lost it like immediately. Like that was like the whole thing with him. Like a lot of times, like where he booked here and versus other places, a matter of like, all right, he'd make a big splash initially. He would definitely win titles. A lot of times secondary titles, if there was one available, he'd always be going for that just to make sure he had an easy time of doing that. I think he did win the GWFZ title for me at one point. It took him a little bit. I don't remember who he won it from, but I remember it was not a very long time. And that was the whole thing with him. It was like, I want to make sure, like with him, like eventually, if this was going to continue, he was gonna leave because eventually he kind of part of it is like, oh, he comes in with all very braggadocious and all these things, when he enters and makes a big splash, but eventually people figure him out, and he's not quite that what he makes himself out to be. So he doesn't necessarily last anywhere too long. He's just on to the next place to add more titles to his wall of fame.
Sure.
when you were making them, did you want to add more than just like because he really only has two additions on his card? The cage isn't much of a big deal, but his pin drops and his finisher. But did you want to add any more else, or did Rob take it down a notch?
I don't think I necessarily asked to add any more. I didn't want it to be too complex there with all that. I mean, I could maybe have seen like an extra reversal in there, maybe something like that. I always saw him as a little bit more of a defensive guy, that he was the decent defense throughout, his lineage there. I maybe would have made it maybe one more there, but I don't think I really pushed for it too much. I just at least wanted something a little stronger finisher, a little weaker, a little stronger pin rating. That was the most important stuff.
Well, if you want to continue on with how he became an entrant into the GWF.
Yeah. So so from there, he went to at that point, he was in there. I know he was not going to stay too long there. And I remember Chris Osk asking me, he was going into building out Ace and All Central Entertainment. And he was putting this entertainers group together. And at that point, he asked, "Hey, would it be cool if we brought Tournament Master in there as part of that?" And I was like, that sounds great. And he wanted to give him a name. And and Chris is the one that came up with the name Totalis, which I thought was a great name. I think it really fit him. The alliteration with it was really good. And, that he's, the total package, things like that is what he kind of go along with. So, yeah, so he came, he's brought into Ace. There's the black and white version of the card. And then, online he's in color. And actually, I completely forgot about this, and I found an extra one, so one might have to go. People are interested. There's a color version that was a Galacticon 2010 special edition card there for Ace. This is before we started doing the printed color cards. This was kind of like a preview thing before that, just to have some type of color thing there. But yeah, that was kind of fun, just bringing him into Ace. This was I believe a Darryl Banks drawing there. So yeah, cool to see him interpreted by a different artist there and whatnot, and a different storyline. So even there, he kind of came in. I think he contended a lot for the secondary titles and whatnot. And that was cool. And he was there for a little bit. And then, the whole thing of, hey, he's not going to stay anywhere too long. Well, where is he going to go to next? What's the next iteration? And if you don't mind me sharing, I couldn't find the printed version of this, but I did get it up on COTG online. There is the, next he went to the POW once CPC became POW and MMA. Then he went over to that side and started competing for MMA titles, which really kind of made sense given some of his ground and pound type of some of the moves he had there. He just kind of amplified it a little bit more with some of that, and he picked up some extra moves along the way. So the Wall of Fame was something he was added in Ace. There was some other, MMA style moves that he did as part of the POW here that he continued on in his next iterations after that. But I think that one there, I don't remember if there's a wrestling card or not, or he only wrestled in MMA, because I think that was the one thing there he kind of wanted. He was done with the wrestling. He really wanted to focus on winning MMA titles to add more different things to his repertoire. And then, after that, there was, we had the GWFZ territories, and Rob, at that point, POW, was not getting as many updates at that point. So, but then we were doing territories, so we wanted to bring him back, and so we had the Ultimo Dragon version of Totalis there with all the different title belts, with all the different things he's been part of. Corvus was in there, which is just, so all these different things that were maybe hinted at. You saw all his titles on there, and there was a color version of that one as well. That was in the color set for Infinity, which was the next set there. We did include a color version of it as well. And then after that is when he went to, let's see here. He went, so this is that GWFZ one, and then this is him going to the GWF. So eventually I was like, he's been to everywhere else. I wanted him to like a short run in GWF, and I never asked Tom for anything creative there, but I'm like, can you give him a short run here, just as a favor? He doesn't have to be a big guy, and whatnot, but can we just give him a short run and maybe interplanetary type contender, which for me he did. He won the interplanetary title for me. And then I don't think he ever won the big title. Eventually I tried to get Tom to write him out. I gave ideas for him to be written out sooner than he was. Tom just kept on moving around teams, which was like, well, if he's not leaving the territory right away, at least he's moving around teams. I think he was on every single, he's on the good guy team, the bad guy team, the middle of the road team, maybe back to the bad guys again. Yeah, he was like all over the place. And did fairly well. I think his car was probably middle of the road, but would, obviously for titles would contend, and I think multiple time interplanetary champion for me personally. And I think I definitely saw a lot of other ones. I think he also maybe even competed in some hardcore title ones at some certain points there. But that was definitely a good crowning achievement, having him have at least a little bit of a run in the GWF. I'll share here that the idea that I had for him to be written out. I think this is the time when Godsend was kind of taking over for power, and my suggestion was for him to go to Godsend, to like say, hey, he should get title shot. He should get a title shot. And that Godsend said, okay, I'll tell you what, I'll give you a shot at every single title, but you have to win during this next year. You have to win every single title in the GWF, or else you're banished for life. Was what I gave to him, which I thought would have been
That'd
fun.
Be cool.
Because he would have had to like find a tag team partner. He would have had to, somehow compete for the women's title. I don't know. I just thought it would be some fun storyline possibilities. I did a little bit on my own, even without being a part of the official storyline. But I kind of wanted him to kind of go out and blaze the glory of like trying for all these titles and just not doing it. Just getting steamrolled by some of the main eventers there and whatnot. I thought that would have been a fitting end to him. But
I like that.
Yeah, it's a nice little story for it.
yeah. And I do say there's a couple of other ones that some people I was really always thought it was really cool when people would do different, a couple bootlegs or takes on him. Like I will show the Werner did this one here is the Tortalis, the tortoise master.
Number one
That was
down.
the one that Werner did as part of the Infinity set, which I got a kick out of. And then there was one other bootleg set. It was a duo. I'm almost positive it was Jurgen from Germany, and if it's somebody else, I really apologize. There, I was trying to find the cards to find it, but it was Tournament Master and TM 2.0. It was for when Tournament Master Totalis wanted to win tag team titles. He had a robotic version of himself as a tag team partner, so he wouldn't actually have to share the titles with anybody. He would still get to have both titles by having this, this other robotic
That's
tag
pretty
team partner.
good. I don't think I've
I
ever
thought that was
seen
a
that.
fantastic concept.
Have to try to find that.
Yeah.
I know I have it somewhere. I couldn't find it. I was digging through all my stuff in a few minutes before here, but I found a couple. But
Well, if you do, let us know and bring it on next time you're on the show.
I will.
Yeah.
I will. I just thought that was so funny.
I like that.
Okay, well, we've been doing a 5 questions. I don't know if you guys seen any of the shows since we've been doing this, but everybody that comes on now, we have 5 questions we ask them, just to get to get to know the people a little bit better. So I'll give you each question. So we'll start off with Jim. So Jim, next to Wolf,
Yeah. Besides Wolf.
who would be on your Mount Rushmore of GWF favorite characters? Not who you think's the toughest, but your all-time favorite.
You can have Wolf
Santos.
on there.
Santos. Definitely got to be number one. Spike. Iron Main.
Hmm.
Let's see. And Chaos.
Yeah.
Really?
List.
No Wolf?
We said
Well, you said other than
beside
Wolf.
Wolf.
I know other than Wolf. I'm just teasing him.
Yeah.
Wolf sits atop the mountain.
Yeah. Wolf is above it. So if there's an honorable mention with the statue out in front, that's the lower level, that's somebody else. But Wolf is like got his own Mount Rushmore.
So who would your top 4 be? With maybe an honorable mention.
Let's see. I mean, does Totalis count? Can I include him in
Yeah,
there? I mean,
he's a GWF guy.
Yeah, I mean, because he's a GWF, I can put him in there. So I definitely won there. Chaos for sure. It's always been probably my number one favorite since the beginning. I probably might put Raven in there. I think just getting started out, that was a guy I really enjoyed playing there, and did a lot with. And more recent. I'll put Gila in there.
Yes.
Okay, so
one.
we'll snake this. So now we'll give you, if you were ever to become a pro wrestler, what would your ring entrance song be?
Walk at the moon. No, kidding.
Aerosmith, Walk This Way. I don't know. Why not?
What would yours be, Jim?
I'm not much of a music guy, but I find Iron Man.
That's a good one.
Okay, and then Jim, what's one place you've always wanted to visit but never have? Money's not an option.
England.
England?
Yeah.
For me, I would say Australia, although Japan is jumping up there as probably more I prefer destination than Australia these
Yeah,
days.
Japan will be great.
Yeah. Japan's on my list, but the wife says no, it's too crowded.
It's a tough right now. I've looked at it, or we've looked at it. It's tough right now. They say like hotels, you can't even get hotels. There's so many people going to Japan. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's booked.
Yeah.
I want to see WrestleMania at the Tokyo Dome.
Yeah, you
Hey,
can go to Saudi in 2 years, right?
yep. There you go.
So Todd, if you were a Jedi, Star
Mhm.
Wars here,
Got
or not a
Tatooine for
Jedi, but if you were in the Star Wars universe, what color would your lightsaber be?
green. Green's my favorite color, and controversially, Return of the Jedi is my favorite of the original trilogy.
It's
Which
fair.
I know it just
That's
for
not that
most people
controversial.
like would just be blasphemy, but
No, it could be a lot worse than that.
I just love
And,
Jabba the Hutt. That's my favorite character in
and what
Star
about you,
Wars.
Jim?
Blood red.
Oh,
Sith
Another
man.
Sith.
Sith Lord.
Jim is a Sith.
The next card that we're going to see from Todd is Jabba the Hutt, huh?
That would be a fun character. Big slug guy.
Oh, he's going to get something.
Yeah.
So yeah. I like collecting different Jabba the Hutt things, and I saw this in a con here. I had to get this.
That's
the
cool.
Hutt.
That is fantastic.
I like that. That's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Okay, Jim, final question. What's one unknown fact about you that you'd be willing to share?
Remember, this is the internet, but there are only 30 people going to listen to this. So
That is true.
That's a tough one. You guys pretty much know everything.
he lives in Philly, but he's a San Francisco 49ers fan.
There you go.
But yeah, we knew that, or I did at least.
The world didn't.
The rest of the world didn't, but now they do.
We'll move on to Todd, and you can think about it. So, Todd, what about you?
So I don't know if it's a completely unknown fact, but a very little known fact that I was once in the background of a dance number on the Drew Carey show.
Oh yeah?
Really?
The Rocky Horror Picture Show dance number that was at the end of one of the seasons of Drew Carey. I was in the background of the dance number. I was not necessarily in full makeup like the rest, but you could see me there.
That's awesome. I'm gonna try and find that clip now. Maybe
We're
insert
gonna
it
have
here.
to look it up, right?
Yeah, that's always the thing. If people are like some weird little known thing, that I always throw that one in there because it's like, who the heck,
Yeah. That might be the best one yet.
Yep.
Yeah.
Other than David Little going, I usually, when people ask, he had been asked that
Yeah.
question before, and he's like, I usually tell people I'm a wrestling fan, but on this, so what about you, Jim? You got some weird little fact about you?
Nothing that comes to mind.
Okay. You guys got any shout outs or anything in the last few minutes we have?
Anything to plug?
Nothing on
Well,
my mind.
I'll give a shout out to Mike Molesky for doing an awesome job of mailing out cards. I got the early preview there. They're already in the mail, hopefully to other people
Oh,
soon. But I got
nice.
Oh,
all
nice.
my cards here for the new sets. So
Cool.
go out and get those. So that's my plug there, and my shout out to Mike for being awesome and keeping everything rolling with the Filsinger Games machine.
And the fact that he took your job from you, which you were so readily to give up.
And he's ready to give it up too.
There you go, Pete.
No.
I
Yeah.
can't handle my small, tiny bootleg operation myself.
I mean, I can barely make. I'm part of this podcast, and I don't even show up half the time.
Hey, I have to be here, else.
Well,
I'm the
if you
guy
want to
with the
get,
buttons.
yeah, if you want to give us our rundown,
All right, everybody, thank you for watching. If you haven't done so yet, please hit that subscribe button. It's right underneath Jim, I believe. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. And while you're here, scroll on down to the description where you'll find all of our friends who make Filsinger Games related content, including the official Filsinger Games podcast, Roll Up, the Legends teams, Uncharted Territory, Dizzy Dice from Lee Longpree, solo promoter from Grant Pachoco. Grant is also right here on YouTube. You'll also find Dave Little's Heartland Championship Wrestling. After further review, Brad Plays 81 and Bucky 749 doing some fun Filsinger Games related content. I'm on Twitch, pretty sporadic right now, but now that we're getting into October, I have a big monster tournament planned, so keep an eye out for that. And yeah, that's all I got, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, we're still 4 away from our magic number of 200. We lost one.
Another bot gone.
That's because I'm back on. That's why.
Well, maybe you missed a week, so now we'll get back up there.
Yeah, there we go.
So if we can get Todd to get his wife to join and
Yeah.
Jim to get his neighbor to join. Jim,
We'll
have
just-
you joined? Have you joined the Brockster build? Have you subscribed to it?
Yeah.
I'm subscribed.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Todd, you need to push this when you guys have your next roll up, and then send everybody over here.
Okay.
He's like,
Not
yeah,
sure
all
what that
right.
is, but
I don't know what's gonna
it's-
happen.
Pete, spoiler, it's the same 30 people.
Yeah, I know.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate you hanging out with us. Always a good time. Appreciate you, and thanks for talking about our your characters here. That's Xiongmao and Tournament Master.
Night, everyone.
Good night,
Later.
everyone.
Right.
Thanks for having me.